Welcome to Fight Pro Wrestling, the home of progressive, innovative combat. We are structured around three separate divisions, the hybrid, grappling, and tag team division, which each have their own individual rule set. Over the course of 8 weeks of competition during the season, fighters earn points based on their method of victory. A referee decision, TKO or KO, is 4 points, pinfall or submission 3 points, countout or forfeit 2 points. A time limit draw will see each competitor receive 1 point, and an extra point is awarded to the competitor who has fewer violations. However, a disqualification will see a 1-point deduction from a fighter's season total. Our code of conduct is especially important here at Fight Pro Wrestling, and we have a series of violations in order to enforce the rules in the spirit of competition. Certain violations are automatic disqualifications, while most lead to a warning and then a 3-strike system. After 3 strikes, a competitor will immediately forfeit their match. Now, let's take a look at our current rankings. Due to unanticipated contractual obligations and scheduling conflicts, the first round number 5 draft pick Will Ferrara has exited the hybrid division. Replacing him tonight will be division alternate Colby Corino, going up against Logan Laroux with a spot in the hybrid division on the line for Corino. We've received word that the first round number 3 draft pick Gabby Ortiz has opted to withdraw from the Grapplers division. That means she has forfeited her match and will be replaced by division alternate Tanali, who now has the opportunity to earn a spot in the Grapplers division going forward.
Our tale of the tape is sponsored by Lucia's Angels. Support the coalition against breast cancer. Go to luciasangels.org for more info.
Welcome to the rebirth of Fight Pro Wrestling. I am Jason Heat, sitting alongside former owner Mike Raddick. We will be your commentary team as we embark on a brand new journey and an incredible night of action.
It's the suplex queen, Tanaily. She's weighing in at 128 pounds today and standing at an amazing 4 feet 10 inches.
Tiny Tanali making her debut here at Fight Pro as a grappler division alternate. Unfortunately, Gabby Ortiz had to forfeit her spot in the division, which means that Tiny, coming in as an alternate, if she wins this match, will become an official roster member and receive the number 3 seed.
And this is why it's important to always be on standby in the wrestling business, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come up.
The number 9 seed of round 1 of Fight Pro, representing the Grapplers division and fighting out of our sponsor, the Worldwide Dojo, this is Damaris Dawkins.
And I had an opportunity to speak to this young lady in the back before the event happened. Great attitude, a willingness to succeed. We're going to go to the final.
I respect you, but I hope you're ready for the fight, because I'm going to bring it all.
I respect you too. Mom always prepared for a fight, and I didn't come to lose.
Let's get it on.
We see for all division matchups, we have our ritual of the face-off, an opportunity for our competitors to look each other in the eye and say one last word before the physicality begins. In this case, show of mutual respect by the Suplex Queen and Damaris Dawkins.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Our female athletes compete here in the Grapplers division, and what showcases and sets the Grapplers division aside is there is no pinfalls in a Grapplers division match. The match has to be won by submission, knockout, or referee stoppage. So you see these two ladies jockeying for position, trying to establish a hold and an advantage early on.
All right, so I was saying earlier, I had an opportunity to speak to Damaris Dawkins before the card tonight, and let me tell you, she has a great attitude. She has a will to succeed, and I think you're going to see that here tonight.
Damaris Dawkins, a lot of heart, wrestles out of this area. This is very much her hometown crowd. We'll see what kind of advantage that gives Dawkins. Able to float over. These two have been entangled with each other the entirety of this competition.
Yeah, let me tell you, wrestling in your hometown is something else. You know, a short drive, you don't have the wear and tear of travel, and you get to come in immediately and just be fresh. And
the Suplex Queen, with the very first suplex of her arsenal, impressed our scouts, Prince Nana, other members of Fight Management, who saw her impressive strength and power in those suplexes, and might be about to see another one.
Yeah, let me tell you something about Tiny Tanali. Not very, she doesn't look very intimidating by her stature, but don't let that fool you, because she has a low center of gravity. Those suplexes are going to surprise you.
Incredible powerhouse. The winner of this match is going to become the #1 ranked in the Grapplers division. Those that impressed throughout the course of the season, which will go through till May, 4 women will be chosen to compete in a mini tournament at our finals and our playoffs, and they will determine the very first Grapplers division champion. So a lot on the line already.
Yeah, definitely a lot on the line. This is the first iteration of the show. You're already in an opportunity to compete for a championship. Wow.
Another big suplex by the Suplex Queen, Tiny Tanali, who is wearing Damaris down and maybe looking for a chokeout victory here.
Like I said earlier, don't let the short stature fool you. She's going to surprise you with those suplexes. She's very powerful, and you're going to get hurt.
Tiny Tanali being forced into the ropes, where she will be forced to break the hold. Damaris Dawkins is able to make her way out. And there's a real question about strategy in a match like this. Oh, and now the Suplex Queen being suplexed, because there are different point values for different ways of winning. A KO or a referee stoppage will get you 4 points on the board for the season, whereas a submission will get you 3. Either can get you a win, but the seeds of the tournament will be determined by the points. So the question is, do you go for 4 or do you go for 3?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going for the knockout if I'm in that situation. I want the most amount of points that are possible in the match. I'm going for a knockout or a referee stoppage.
Damaris looking for an armbar, trying to break that grip that Tanali has, and instead that low center of gravity allowing Tanali no. Damaris maintains control.
Yeah, maintaining control by keeping those wrists or keeping those hands locked.
20-minute time limit for all division matches. Again, big stakes on the line for the Suplex Queen. No pinfalls. The Tiny Plex hits, but does not lead to the victory on its own.
Oh, you know this is bad news. The straps are coming down.
Tiny Tanali is looking for that bow and arrow and gets the submission victory.
I'm actually surprised by the submission victory there.
Via submission, Tiny.
Tiny Tanali, with that win, officially becomes a ranked member of the division. Not only does she take on the #3 seed, but she is now the #1 ranked grappler in the Grapplers division.
What do you have to say?
you guys. I will be back, and I'm coming for it all.
In our very first YouTube exclusive Scout Showcase exhibition, it was the Rabid Honey Badger Ryan Mooney against the Ace of Space, LSG. And while LSG picked up the victory, he refused to shake Mooney's hand after the match.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Reddick backstage here.
Dismissed, forgotten, neglected. You don't leave the Ace of Space out of the division. Nana, you saw what I did out there. You saw what I'm capable of. You will never forget me again, and I will come back over and over and over again until you remember LSG. I am undeniable, and I will be in the division whether you like it or not.
Fellingham's Restaurant Sports Bar has been open for over 40 years and serves classic American dishes, draft brews, and cocktails in a rustic casual setting.
Fellingham's Sports Bar and Restaurant, where good sports meet.
So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
Inside my DNA. I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
Skid Row Wrestling Academy. The work begins here. Email supercrazypro@gmail.com and start your journey today. Our tale of the tape is sponsored by The Men's Grooming Studio. Book your next cut at themensgroomingstudio.com.
Introducing first, at the combined weight of 380 pounds, it's Scum Dog Sage Matthews and Top Dog Allen Clayball. They are Dawgnation.
Very familiar with this duo who have been making waves up and down the East Coast. This is the Top Dog Allen Clayball with the immaculate facial hair. This is Scum Dog Sage Matthews with the unruly man bun, and they together represent Dawgnation.
And Dawgnation, they have been running roughshod all over the state of Pennsylvania, over the state of New Jersey, over Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia. They've been everywhere, and now they're here in Fight Pro Wrestling.
The number 7 seed overall in round 1, the highest seeded tag team so far. Well deserved. A lot of people peg these two as future superstars. I think, honestly, they may already be there.
Yeah. If they're not there already, they're very close. I will say that.
Incredible unity in this team. They literally live together in the bachelor pad, which is a very different story than their opponents.
That wasn't very nice.
We see, unlike Dawgnation, Matt Quay making his entrance alone, waiting for his partner, Leo Sparrow.
Partner, the son of the sun, the Earth's champion, Leo Sparrow.
The son of the sun, you say?
Quay and Sparrow are two up-and-coming professional wrestlers with tremendous upside. They both wanted an opportunity with Fight Pro Wrestling, and Nana gave it to them. But as a tag team, these two have never tagged together before, and just off the look of it, they seem a bit like an odd couple.
Yeah, odd couple to say the least. Yeah, we've got the kid basically fighting for the earth.
Leo Sparrow, proudly a vegan, and Matt Quay, 100% American beef.
Wow, I wonder how this is going to play out.
Hopefully well. Sometimes they say opposites attract, and both these guys know what a win means for them. They want to become the top-ranked team in the tag division. They want to work their way to the finals where they could have an opportunity to become the very first Fight Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Gentlemen, do we have any final words for your opponent?
I got some words for Dawgnation.
And I do too. I'm Leo Sparrow, the King of Kale, the Green Machine, the Son of the Sun, and your Earth Champion.
The King of Kale.
And I'm gonna beat you guys.
We're taking these dogs to the pound, baby!
Oh no.
These guys don't even seem to be a unit. How are they gonna beat the Scum Dog and the Top Dog? Dawgnation!
Let's get it on!
That's a good question.
I am loath to agree with anything Top Dog Alan Clayball says, but it is a fantastic question. We just see even in the face-off, Matt Quay took the mic, and immediately Leo Sparrow ripped it out of his hand.
Boy, I am really interested to see how this is going to work out.
Dawgnation has been a team for several years now. Sparrow and Quay for several minutes. We'll see if that factors in.
With these volatile personalities?
Great wrestlers, though. Scouted across so many hundreds of wrestlers who applied to be part of Fight Pro.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You know, these guys are a bit of the odd couple, but the fact that they were selected to take part in this first event has to say something about their work, their tenacity, has to say something about their level of competition.
Alan Clayball, I think, has the potential, has the tools to be the guy in professional wrestling. And we are watching him blossom in front of us, but many people say the same thing about Matt Quay. So this is a matchup I'm very excited to see.
Wow.
Quay able to roll through out of that headlock takeover, really catching the Top Dog off guard.
All right, Matt Quay, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Excellent chain wrestling here thus far.
Great positioning by senior official Mitch Franklin. Watching out these two. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on Dawgnation, who have often been known as rule benders. That could lead to violations for them here in Fight. And there is a difference between a violation and a disqualification. There are a number of things that will get you warnings or violations, but if you hit somebody with a foreign object, if you hit someone in the groin, you will be immediately disqualified and lose a point.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, like the normal things in professional wrestling are illegal still, and some of the minor infractions are just frowned upon.
That's right. Infractions are being very heavily monitored here in FIGHT as violations. If you do receive a total of 4 violations, a warning and 3, you will be subject to a forfeit. And now we see Leo Sparrow and the Scumdog in for the very first time. Interesting note, there are no submissions in the tag team division here in FIGHT.
Wow, no submissions whatsoever.
No, pinfall, knockout, referee decision, but no submissions, really meant to encourage tag team cohesion, working together.
I'm going to be honest with you, with the knockouts in play, I would be going for the knockout all the time.
Knockout will get you 4 points. Big monkey flip by the son of the sun, Leo Sparrow.
Nice forearm there.
The Green Machine taking it to the Scumdog. I assure you, I do not think that the Scumdog, Sage Matthews, considers his body a temple.
No. I've been in a bar with that man. There's no way.
Sunset flip, but Leo Sparrow able to sit down and almost taking what I would consider to be an upset here.
You know, for the son of the earth, he's a little violent.
The Earth's champion. Well, you know, the Earth has a lot to be mad about. Let's not lie.
I can't argue with you there.
If you are fighting for the Earth, there is no doubt that you've got a chip on your shoulder. And are we about to see...
We're about to see the tag. Or no.
Not able to make the tag together.
So, Jason, this right here is a mark of a green tag team.
They did it.
They finally did it. But this is an inexperienced tag team here, and you can tell it takes a long time for you to realize you're not tagging your partner out. He's tagging you in.
We're watching them grow in real time, learning the tools of the trade, but you do not have that luxury against a team as cohesive and as dangerous as Dawgnation and Scumdog. That was totally legal, taking advantage of that situation. Great move.
The Scumdog. We already see the... Oh, no. I've seen this before. Beautiful, picture-perfect elbow drop from the top dog.
Alan Clayball now in against Matt Quay. We saw this pairing at the very beginning. And despite their flaws, despite their faults, Quay and Sparrow are not working poorly together in the ring itself.
No, I mean, we've seen a couple of flaws here and there, but as far as their in-ring, the technical prowess that we're seeing in the ring from them, it's been great thus far.
There's nothing you're going to do for the first time that you're going to be perfect at, and now this would absolutely be a violation if the referee had seen it. That is very good example of shifting the referee's focus to your advantage by Dawgnation.
All right, what do we got here?
5 minutes have elapsed. And now Dawgnation with that double bomb to Matt Quay.
And this is a mark of a well-oiled tag team right here. They've been working on the spine for the last few minutes, and it all built up to that hip toss.
Hammer and tong elbows by the Scum Dog as Matt Quay has unfortunately taken the brunt of the offense here in this match for the team, the fledgling team of Quay and Sparrow.
Yeah, Leo Sparrow looks a little angry over there in the corner.
Sparrow certainly looks motivated. The king of kale looking to get in and go Popeye on these dogs. I assume if spinach does good things for you, kale's got to do even more.
Oh, yeah.
And
here comes
Popeye
can
on
Quay get the tag, and he can't.
Clayball continuing the assault on Quay, but Quay able to reverse and takes a boot to the face for his troubles. Side Russian leg sweep.
Beautiful Russian leg sweep.
And Clayball with a 2 count.
Alan Clayball showing what an athlete he is right now.
Doing a phenomenal job of cutting the ring in half. You saw as Quay started to make his way to Sparrow in the corner, Clayball applied the headlock and muscled Quay over to the dog side.
Yeah, and the bad thing about these guys being inexperienced right now is Dawgnation's not going to give you, they're not going to give you anything. There are no holes in what they do.
But we're watching Quay learn on the fly. They went for that double bomb, and this time Quay was ready for it. Ended up forcing a meeting of the minds between two doggy dogs.
Sage with a boot to his face there.
And Sparrow doing a great job of coaching and motivating from the outside. These two may have found their groove, and the hammer has been applied.
Quay has got to get to the corner right now.
By far the freshest man in this match is the Earth Champion, Leo Sparrow, and
no! About time.
Leo Sparrow is in, and he is a field of fire for vegetation because he's the Earth Champion. Kneecapitation in the corner.
Oh, what was that? I've never even seen that before.
That was a senton splash from the second rope inside.
Beautiful moonsault.
Pinfall.
Leo Sparrow almost had him there.
Leo Sparrow looking so impressive, a graduate of the Create a Pro Academy who have turned out some of the finest professional wrestlers of the last decade, including luminaries like Chris Statlander, Max Caster, and MJF. Leo Sparrow, the most recent graduate, and boy, you can see the work.
Yeah, with a lineage like that, there's no telling how great he's actually going to be.
And Leo trying to encourage Matt to take advantage of this double team. Matt goes for it, but a little too late.
Miscommunication by the team there.
Matt Quay just knocked Leo Sparrow loopy. Black hole slam by Alan Clayball.
What do we have here? Scumdog going to the top.
Sage Matthews up. Beautiful swan, ton, middle of the ring, nowhere to go. 3 points, 3 count.
Put the exclamation point on top of a great victory right there.
The recipients of 3 points, Dawgnation.
Dawgnation now officially the #1 ranked tag team in Fight Pro Wrestling.
Now I'm going to say this, as inexperienced as that other team was, that was a hell of a performance by them.
There's a world of potential for Quay and Sparrow if they can get it together. But look at these two celebrating all the way back to the bachelor pad. They're going to get hydrated for sure.
Yeah, a little rocky for those guys at the beginning, but they put it together there towards the end. It was just too late.
Quay trying to get back on the same page, trying to keep this team a unified front here in Fight Pro Wrestling. They got a world of potential. And no, Leo Sparrow just walked out on Matt Quay.
Can't we all just get along?
Sparrow's yelling at Quay to win it yourself. And I don't know, these two will definitely talk in the back, but it looks like Sparrow took that hit from Quay very personally, despite it clearly being an accident.
Well, well, if it's not another step on this journey that we call life. See, Fight Pro called Moses and said, we want you to come and put on a show, but before that, we need you to tell the people a little bit about you. Well, on one hand, I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody, but on the other hand, I'm just a man trying to beat down every man, woman, or child that steps in the ring with me. So no matter who Fight Pro decides to throw at me, that's your ass.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Raddick, backstage correspondent here at Fight Pro Wrestling. We have the winner of our Grappler Showcase contest, Tanali. Tanali, how are you feeling after the big win?
I am feeling great. I came to Fight Pro to make a statement, and that statement is that the Suplex Queen is here, and I am here to say, I hear that there's a women's championship tournament coming up, and you can bet that I will be there, and I will be sure to make you all know why Tanali is all you want to see, and why I will be the first Fight Pro Women's Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, climbing to the top of the ranks, Tiny Tanali. Back to you guys.
Our tale of the tape is sponsored by 8 & Sand Brewery. Enjoy the taste of great craft beer. Go to 8andsandbeer.com for more info.
Introducing first, out of Paulsboro, New Jersey, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing 155 pounds, it's Anthony Bennett!
Our very first match in the hybrid division for men's singles competition. The way this works is over the course of the season, the hybrid division will basically be playing a regular season of competition, and then based on their rankings, we'll hit the playoffs, and the winner of the playoffs, the number 1 ranked at the end of the whole season, is going to go up against whoever is our final premier fighter to become the Fight Pro Wrestling champion.
The playoffs. I'm getting used to this seasonal format. I think it's a welcome change in professional wrestling.
I'm a big fan.
And here's a guy I'm very familiar with.
2 inches tall, the man with the most deadliest drop kick. It's the professional Rhett.
The number 1 seed of the entire first round draft. The number 1 pick, the professional Rhett Titus.
I have known Rhett for over 15 years. This man has risen through the ranks of professional wrestling from the very, very bottom to the top of the top.
He has never been in better shape, and it's not just the physique.
It's that deadly drop kick.
It's the deadly drop kick. It's the level of technical skill he has amassed. There's a reason that Rhett Titus is the number 1 seed, but you can't get cocky when you're going up against someone like the Martini Man, Anthony Bennett, a veteran of WWE's Cruiserweight Classic. This is a man who's made it to the big dance.
The professional isn't just a moniker. It is what I live by. You don't have to worry about me punching you in the mouth or breaking the rules. Because this right here, it's going to be straight up wrestling. And I offer you my handshake as a promise.
I may follow the rules, I may not, but I'm still it. I've been it. The professional is about to meet Anthony Bennett. Yeah!
Rhett Titus offered his hand, not just in respect, but actually as a promise that Rhett was going to be a professional, follow the rules. Anthony took that hand, but then said straight to his face, I may follow the rules, I may not.
Hey, at least he's honest.
Hey, points for honesty. Each of these men have up to 4 violations, a warning, and then 3 strikes. And on that 3rd official strike, they would forfeit this match. Not the way you want to win, though.
Now, I will say, with these infractions and violations, you've got to use those to your advantages sometimes. Don't you agree?
I think that's not necessarily the spirit, but that's definitely well within the rules. So I see where you're coming from, absolutely.
Yeah, bend the rules, just not break them,
Rhett Titus looking to prove that he is the man.
They call him the professional for a reason. This man has, I met this man when he was on a ring crew in 2006. This man has risen through the ranks of professional wrestling from the very, very bottom to the top of the top. He's been on pay-per-views. He's been champion in multiple different promotions, including Ring of Honor.
I think that Rhett Titus has unfortunately suffered from something that happens when people have seen you grow up in front of you.
Yeah.
Where everyone has seen Rhett since he was basically a child in the ring. And I think sometimes they still see him as that young boy. He's not. Rhett Titus is a damn man and a damn fine professional wrestler who is looking to use FIGHT as the platform to show that he can be the guy, the champion, the top of a professional wrestling promotion.
And make no mistake about it, Rhett was talented 15 years ago. You could see the talent in him. It's like he has risen through the ranks. He is so much more talented than he even used to be.
I think he's even more talented than he knows, as Anthony Bennett, wanting to make a name by beating the top seed, doing a great job, not only suffocating Rhett, but constantly working in to a pinning position. And Rhett Titus is able to gain a roll out.
Great gut wrench suplex there.
The most dangerous move in Rhett Titus' arsenal, without a doubt, the drop kick. If he hits that, it's over. As Bennett knows.
Oh. Trying to end that early.
Looks like Bennett picking the arm.
Bennett's picking the arm. I don't think this is a wise strategy. If I were Anthony Bennett right now, I'd be going after the legs, because without those legs, he can't jump up to give that drop kick.
Got to take what's open, though.
I agree with that. I can agree with that. But if I were Anthony Bennett, I'd be going after the legs early.
Bennett has been applying a lot of pressure to Rhett Titus, and maybe Rhett wasn't expecting such a ground game from Anthony Bennett.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Hearing those accolades about the Cruiserweight Classic, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting more of a high-flying affair here.
These two have both been doing a great job of maneuvering the other into pinning predicaments while maintaining holds.
Yeah. Still working the arm there.
The crowd split between the two. I'd say a slight advantage to Rhett Titus right now in terms of the adulation. There we see crossbody off the second by Anthony Bennett, only for 2, and immediately gets back into...
Right back to the arm.
Yep.
I can't see what it is. Like almost a modified armbar and a wrist lock.
I think it's, a double wrist lock. Kimura. At least that's the attempt. Not anymore. Rhett was able to muscle out. And boy, there's a lot of muscle to muscle out on Rhett Titus.
Absolutely.
That man is a lean, mean fighting machine.
Rhett is in the best shape of his life coming into this contest. Anthony Bennett, on the other hand, he's in pretty good physical condition as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at that. These two are at their peaks. And they only represent the very first two we're seeing in the hybrid division. Look at that float over.
Innovative offense there. That was a tornado suplex. When's the last time you seen one of those?
About 30 seconds ago.
May have been the first. Okay.
Rhett Titus rolling up Bennett. Fantastic pinning combination.
Rhett Titus, no matter what Bennett throws at him, he just keeps coming back.
The same can be said about Bennett. He has just been on top of Titus, working that arm. He picked a spot. He is not letting go.
Here.
Head scissors reversed.
Float over Russian leg sweep there.
And then back into an armbar pin.
And continues to hold on to the arm.
Bennett has been doing a phenomenal job just doing combination after combination to work into that arm.
And what he's doing right here, he's trying to wear Rhett down. Not only hurt him with the arm bar, but wear down the conditioning. After every pin, after every kick out, he is right back on him. Rhett Titus has no time to breathe, no time to rest.
This is the first of 3 hybrid division matches that we are going to see. How you win does make a difference. It looks very clear that Anthony Bennett is going for 3 points and a submission.
I believe this is the first time that Rhett's even had a chance to breathe in this matchup.
Yeah, Bennett just latched on to Rhett Titus. And Rhett, you see, is really so much material. Oh, playing possum!
Oh, wow.
Fireman's carry lured Bennett in.
And now Rhett going for the back.
This is when the professional comes out to play, introducing Bennett to 3 of the 4 corners, or 4 sides of the ring.
Now, normally in a matchup like this, when somebody has a strike for a finish, I'd be recommending going to the head. In Rhett's case, his finish is so strong, I don't even think he needs to.
Well, he's listening to you anyways. Multiple kicks right upside the head, setting up for that drop kick, knocking Anthony Bennett loopy. Big suplex. Pinfall. Everything is legal here. Is it possible to win? Can be pinned, submission, knockout, forfeit. Everything is on the table in the hybrid division. Got to be a master of every style of wrestling to succeed in this division.
Absolutely. I just noticed there that Rhett was kind of favoring that arm after Anthony Bennett working it there for quite some time. And what do we have here? Almost, is this going to be a vertebreaker?
Certainly a backbreaker applied from the shoulder.
Oh!
And Bennett landed really hard onto that shoulder.
Yeah, that move could have caused a dislocation there.
Rhett Titus has really turned things around, setting up for it, and drop kick! And Anthony Bennett,
oh my
is
God. No, ref, you got to get him. Yeah. There's no way he was getting up from that.
Your winner, via referee stoppage, the professional, Rhett Titus!
Bennett's not moving. He's not moving at all.
Bennett is completely unconscious.
Oh my God.
Lights are on, no one's home. We got to get some medical attention out here for Anthony Bennett.
Get some help for this guy.
Look at that, just completely knocked unconscious, out cold.
Senior official Mitch Franklin there trying to wake Bennett back up.
And it just goes to show, if Rhett Titus hits you with that knockout, with that drop kick, it is a KO on demand.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Raddick backstage here at Fight Pro Wrestling. 2 of the victors in our tag team contest, the Scumdog Sage Matthews, the Top Dog Alan Claybaugh, Dawgnation. How are you guys feeling tonight?
Go ahead, doggy.
We feel absolutely fantastic because we did what we said we were going to do. Already at the top of the tag division. But Dawgnation, they weren't working together. They're not an actual team. It didn't matter if they were working together. It didn't matter if they were a team. Brothers, sisters, twins. You can't beat this connection.
That's right. Dawgnation is at the top. And now it's time for the Scum Dog and the Top Dog to go celebrate this great tag team victory.
Because when you have domination, hydration, and 100% certification.
Boys. I like what I see. How much you can color me?
Doggy, drinks on the 1%er.
What did we just witness?
The men's grooming studio. Walk in as a stranger looking for a cut, and walk out as family with a great hairstyle. your occasional repair to complete renovations, we have a service for you. Call 856-599-8034 and book with Anton Remodeling Company today.
If you have interest in becoming a professional wrestler, feel free to reach out to our website at www.worldwidewrestlingdojo.com.
The Worldwide Wrestling Dojo, where quality talent receives quality training.
Fight Pro. It is the official ego, Matt Hayter. And I'll be seeing you guys so very soon.
Our tale of the tape is sponsored by the Worldwide Wrestling Dojo, where quality talent receives quality training. Go to worldwidewrestlingdojo.com to start your journey today.
Coming out first, Infinite Eli Isom.
You want to talk about someone who I think has the... You want to talk about someone who I think has the potential to go the distance this whole season and potentially make their way to the championships, make their way into the finals? It's Infinite Eli Isom. World famous Cheeseburger is not just a nickname, it is absolute truth. This man, world famous CB, has traveled internationally and is universally beloved.
He is huge in Japan.
The number one way for me to know that you are not a great person is if you have a bad word to say about CB.
Oh, you can't have a bad word to say about CB. This guy's awesome.
Gentlemen, do we have any final words for our opponent?
For those of you who don't know, this man has trained me to be a professional wrestler. Ever since that time, this is my trainer right here. And tonight, the student surpasses the master.
Oh, really?
Tonight, the student surpasses the master, huh? You're going to have to kill me to do it. Okay.
Well, very clear story to this one. It's student versus teacher. We've seen a number of students of world famous Cheeseburgers on the show already. Ryan Mooney, Damaris, Dawkins, and now Eli Isom.
Now, I'm going to tell you here, Eli Isom might be getting in over his head here. His opponent is a world-traveled competitor. His opponent taught him everything he knows, but maybe, just maybe, not everything that he knows.
Cheeseburger, the number 2 seed overall, just behind Rhett, Titus. Eli Isom, the number 6 seed overall. Rhett Titus standing at 4 points so far in this division. We're going to see one of these two men is going to end up on the stand leaderboard. We'll see where they stand. And this match, with a 20-minute time limit, is officially underway.
Looks like the code of honor is being followed there.
The handshake. And we see Cheeseburger made the mistake of turning around, and Eli Isom immediately went for it.
Number 1, don't turn your back against your opponent.
You do have to wonder if Cheeseburger may be underestimating Eli Isom, considering him still to be a student, when Eli Isom is a division roster member, an equal here to CB in the eyes of FIGHTT and Prince Nana.
I mean, he's got to be underestimating him a little bit. It is his student, so he hasn't taught him everything that maybe Cheeseburger knows.
But Eli Isom, a well-seasoned professional wrestler, even at his young age, he's got the size advantage, he's got the strength advantage, though CB by far with the experience advantage. That experience not just measured in years in the ring, but also the high-profile matches and situations that CB has found himself in.
Yes. And the one thing that I like that I am seeing here out of FIGHTT Pro Wrestling, you're not seeing an aging veteran coming in here past his prime, trying to make a name for himself or trying to hang on. You're seeing finely conditioned athletes from the very top of the business to the bottom of the business coming in here and proving their worth here tonight.
Top-level talent, well-conditioned athletes of all different shapes and sizes, and what links them is their desire to compete, as CB right now putting on a clinic here in the middle of the ring, and I expect no less. These two both very technical. Because Eli has more power, I expect maybe to see more strikes and slams out of Eli Isom. Cheeseburger, almost always as a size disadvantage, has learned how to just apply hold after hold.
And Isom going right for the leg.
No feeling out process needed. These two know each other very, very well. Cheeseburger, widely regarded as one of the finest trainers of the next generation currently on the scene.
Yes, I have yet to see a bad student come out of Cheeseburger's academy.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But the standout, I think, has been Eli Isom. A lot of great people. We've seen other people on this card, but Eli Isom, many has felt to be the protege of Cheeseburger. These two have teamed many times as part of the Shinobi Shadow Squad together and with Ryan Mooney, but there are no friends. Well, there's friends, but there is no allies here in the hybrid division. It's every man for themselves.
A little bit of a test of strength here.
Cheeseburger, a flashier wrestler than most, very intentional, almost a magician in the ring. He moves your attention one way so he can strike another. He is a fantastic master of misdirection, is Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger taking the advantage, has like a straitjacket headlock there, it looks like. That is reversed.
You can be successful at pro wrestling with any body size, with any body shape, but how much harder do you think CB has had to work over his career to be this good and to achieve this level of success at this size?
You have to have incredible work ethic for somebody his size to succeed like he has in professional wrestling. No doubt about that. Like, I've known this guy since he started wrestling, since he was still a trainee under Delirious. He was one of the smaller wrestlers back in the day, and he's had to work, scratch, claw, and prove his mettle the hard way to get where he is.
Delirious in our main event, one of our two premier contenders, along with Tony Deppen, and Delirious casts a long shadow over many members of the FIGHTT Pro Wrestling roster. Headlock applied by world famous CB.
All right, working back up to what's going to happen here.
Headlock takeover, and CB with the tenacity that has kept him at the upper level of the independent professional wrestling scene for so many years. And here was a crucifix.
Surprised him with that. I was about to question why he was releasing the headlock, and then there you have it.
Isom able to counter, though, as these two go and hold for hold.
You can see the mutual respect here between these two competitors.
You can also watch them adjusting their game plan mid-match, getting a sense of, okay, if Burger's gonna do this, I gotta do that. If Isom's gonna do this, I gotta move left. This is a game of chess, more than any other match we have seen so far here at Enter the Fight Round 1. I mean this in the nicest way possible. Cheeseburger wriggled like a dying fish out of that hold. And it was impressive to watch.
Playing a little trick on the student there.
The magician, the master of misdirection, the flash and the substance, the world famous CB. But you can't question the fundamentals of Eli Isom right now with that arm wringer.
Yeah. Eli Isom with the full arm dragon twist applied here.
See, look, CB just distracting Isom, wave of the hand, a cartwheel. None of it's frivolous. It's all so carefully calculated.
You can tell he's going to play mind games with his student here.
Eli Isom coming back in with that sunset flip. Got the arms tracked. That technique was perfect.
Oh, beautiful arm drag.
So far, neither man has required a violation, intentional or unintentional. Important to remember that a rope break does count as a violation. So there are limited rope breaks. Yes, similar to pure rules.
Interesting.
So there's limited rope breaks, a lot of stakes. Holds mean a lot here at Fight Pro Wrestling.
Beautiful armbar here applied.
Look at that.
Cheeseburger finding a way out of that.
But only for a moment. Looks like Eli Isom starting to become a bit inured to the tricks of his mentor. And now really making Cheeseburger work out of the hold instead of being able to squirm his way. Underneath. Up high. Down low. Too slow.
Oh.
It's like a matador playing with a bull.
Cheeseburger just having fun here.
And now starting to have fun at the expense of Eli Isom climbing the mountain.
I was about to say, this is not, I know what's coming. This is not about to be a fun time. The skill alignment from South Park. If you're going to take, if you're going to try to keep up with Cheeseburger, you're going to have a bad time.
Particularly now. He just snapped Isom's left arm. It looks like it went limp immediately. I'm wondering if Isom is going to be able to get feeling back in that arm.
Yeah, he better get feeling pretty quick because Cheeseburger is not going to let that slip.
Cheeseburger having fun, but certainly not taking it easy on Eli Isom.
Well, the Rana didn't work out there.
No, Isom able to power out, and that's the thing. No matter what, Cheeseburger is not going to be able to match power against Eli Isom, who has all of the raw talent of anyone I have seen in my years of professional wrestling.
Eli Isom there with that modified exploder.
We're getting into deep water right now here in this match.
And the chops are getting served.
It's going to become a real question of cardio. Who has the better conditioning here? That really can 6 to 1, half a dozen. Look at that balance. Cheeseburger perched on the top.
Oh, what are we going to see here? Uh-oh.
Using the ropes to his advantage. 5 seconds. And
gave him an infraction.
Yes, you have 5 seconds when you are in the ropes Cheeseburger held on past 5, so that is the first violation to Cheeseburger. That is a warning.
And see, Isom thought he was going to get arrested there. Cheeseburger just came down and stomped him right in the back of the head.
You wanted to talk about being strategic, though. That extra damage makes a lot of difference. We've been seeing...
Yeah, gave Cheeseburger the space there to go ahead, take a rest, and get an advantage.
And he's been really focusing on that arm, has Cheeseburger, negating a lot of the advantage, that range in the strikes that Isom has. Cheeseburger has been very, very precise in the strategy against Isom in particular. Pinfall! You saw Cheeseburger put the pressure down on that arm specifically, not just on the shoulder, but on that injured arm.
Yeah, working that arm yet again. Oh, I know that hurt. I've been in that hole before. It's not fun. Bending your wrist back like that.
Every single way that the arm wasn't meant to bend, Cheeseburger is introducing Eli Isom to all of them. Someone better be preparing an ice bath for this young man backstage.
I was about to say, when it comes to arm submissions, Cheeseburger's a surgeon.
Isom showing that to be successful in this match, he's going to have to be able to use both limbs equally. Enziguri!
You want to talk about the stiffest kick in wrestling, the Enziguri kick.
I think the real story here is that even on offense, though, that limb might be fully or partially out of commission on Eli Isom. I don't know how long he can keep going. We're already 10 minutes into this match. Swing slam, and Isom deep hook.
You notice he didn't pick him up with the left arm there.
I don't think he can. And you know Cheeseburger knows it.
Oh, yeah, Cheeseburger definitely knows it. Like a shark smelling blood in the water. That kid in the crowd knows it too.
This is the best that Eli Isom has looked, but unfortunately not able to capitalize on that momentum due to the pain. How difficult is it? You're a former competitor when you have an injury developing in mid-match, both because of the pain and also the fear of maybe the long-term damage. What does that do to your focus? What does that do to your ability in the ring?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When you experience an injury in the ring, the first thing you're going to try to do is try to hide it as much as you can. But the minute your opponent starts to smell blood in the water, so to speak, it's going to be a bad time. You better find it within you. You better find it within you to...
Doing that right now. Eli Isom going for the win.
You got to find it within you to just withstand the pain, number one. Find it within you to kind of protect that injury, so to speak, and maybe even go out and give the receipt, injure your opponent back.
Tremendous fortitude and resilience on display by Eli Isom, who is very clearly hurting and yet still maintaining the grip. We have seen Rhett Titus get on the board. First member of the hybrid division, scoring 4 points with the knockout. One of these two.
Notice how the grip there, he doesn't have his hands locked together. He's basically holding his other arm.
Isom not able to maintain the hold on Cheeseburger, exactly like what you were saying. At this point, it just seems like a matter of Cheeseburger can keep this match going long enough. He will eventually find a way around Isom, and Isom needs to end it quick.
Yes, Isom really needs to end this matchup, because I can tell you, if Cheeseburger gets a hold of that arm and gets a significant submission on it, it's over.
In this moment, Isom is definitely playing offense, playing offense as defense. Got to do everything in his power to keep Cheeseburger off of that arm.
Yeah, because I can tell you, it's not going to be a wear-down hold on that arm. Cheeseburger's going to go in to shut that arm down completely.
Everything changed when Cheeseburger snapped that arm with his legs. He was playing fun and games.
And you can see the suplex. He was trying to go for the suplex there. Not as effective. Cheeseburger was able to block it a little bit easier.
Cheeseburger lowering down that center of gravity, trying to make it as difficult as possible for Isom, who just powers Cheeseburger up.
And that power, like Isom even picking him up halfway was impressive.
As they would say on the USS Enterprise, Cheeseburger managed to reverse the polarity and turn that suplex back on his student. A lot of pride on the line for Eli Isom, who explicitly told Cheeseburger today is the day that the student surpasses the master. I don't think Cheeseburger's ready to be put out to pasture.
What does that got to do for Eli Isom's confidence if he beats his mentor tonight?
Confidence through the roof. I truly think that Eli Isom has all the opportunity in the world to potentially become the first fight champion, and it all starts tonight if he is able to defeat CB.
Cheeseburger almost had that arm. Oh.
Half and half, and angled it so that Eli Isom would land on that arm and shoulder. Friggin' great strategy by CB in this match.
Yes, Isom was so busy protecting his arm that he forgot.
Only 5 minutes left, and you hear CB heard that, and CB knows.
CB knows he's got to wrap this up now.
Well, because CB has a violation. It's very unlikely, but if this were to go to a time limit draw, if there is a disparity in violations, the competitor who has fewer violations gets the victory. It's only a draw if all other things are equal. So there's a lot of math, basically, that these competitors have to keep in mind as the clock is ticking. Look at that power! Air raid crash by Isom!
Now here, from what you were saying right there, Eli Isom, too. Eli Isom could basically run the clock down, so to speak. A typical move you would see in the NFL. He could run the clock down here and get that victory.
I don't think that that's in Eli Isom's mind, whether because it's not his strategy or just that's hard to keep track of when you're mid-match, but it's got to be on Cheeseburger's mind at this point, as we've got less than 5 minutes remaining on the clock.
Now, would you say because of that Eli Isom has the advantage for the first time in the matchup?
I think so. I think at this point, the longer it goes, now it's changed. Eli is at the advantage. But anything can change the second the Burger gets that arm in his grips again. As you see, that kick directly to the arm. This has been absolutely incredible.
This is one of the best matchups of the night right here.
These two, given everything they've got here at the very first event of Fight Pro, and Cheeseburger almost got Eli Isom.
Oh, man.
Shote!
That was one hell of a strike right there.
And I believe that Burger just received another violation due to that strike right to the head.
I'd be, if I were him right now, I'd be going straight for the knockout.
I think he is going for the pin right now. And somehow Isom gets out.
Cheeseburger desperately needs to knock this guy out right now.
Cheeseburger still has 2 violations. But if he receives 2 more violations, he will immediately forfeit this match. Has to be so incredibly careful. He was gifted that strike, that shote, by none other than his legendary mentor, Jushin Thunder Liger himself. And now these two just slapping each other.
Oh my God.
Oh!
Oh no!
Burger, that's your student! That's your friend! This has gotten really personal.
My elbow hurts watching that.
La Magistral is reversed.
2.
2 minutes remaining.
Only 2 minutes.
2 minutes. We're down to the 2-minute warning.
And these two trying to pin each other quicker than we can possibly count. It's only going to take 3 seconds for one man to win. Jackknife. Somehow, some way, Isom able to bridge up, and now pushing Burger down. This is crazy, Mike.
My God, like my elbow still hurts from watching that earlier. Backbreaker by Eli Isom.
Isom bringing the power, knocking Cheeseburger into next week. Back to the future, indeed.
Yeah, and he definitely flew about 88 miles an hour on that on that lariat.
Both these guys need time to recover, but they don't have the time. We're at 60 seconds.
We're at 60 seconds.
We could be looking at a double count out, though.
1 minute remaining.
And there is that 60-second mark you were just talking about. We are down to crunch time. Cheeseburger, you have got to knock this guy out if you want to get this victory.
1 minute left, less than 60 seconds on the clock, and all of the pressure is on world famous CB at this point.
And you can tell Isom is getting tired there.
30 seconds remaining.
CB has desperately got to make something happen here. 30 seconds.
30 seconds remain. Go for a superplex. This could end it. And Isom's got CB middle of the ring.
10, 9, 8, 7.
We're on to the final 10 seconds.
5, 4,
CB.
3, 2, 1. Time limit.
And we have a time limit draw.
This is a draw, time limit draw. Both wrestlers will get 1 point.
Is it though?
Well, technically it is a time limit draw. The way things work is that both CB and Isom will receive 1 point, but then Isom will receive an extra point for the split decision for having less violations. So CB will get 1 point, Isom will get 2.
Interesting. Interesting.
What a war. What an absolute war.
We're about to get the referee's decision here.
Sorry, folks. There's been some confusion. Eli Isom is the winner due to Cheeseburger's infractions.
All right.
Eli Isom, your official winner, but for going the distance, CB will put 1 point on the board. And as of right now, we're looking at Rhett Titus in the lead, followed by Eli Isom and world famous CB, and then Anthony Bennett in the hybrid division. And Eli Isom just beat his teacher.
Impressive. This kid's got to be on cloud 9 right now. I'm going to be honest. Heartbreaking loss for CB, obviously.
But a measure of pride, you have to assume, and we're going to see right now, Isom can barely move that arm.
Oh.
Nana's looking.
Nana was, all right.
Very interested in this one is Prince Nana. And CB, I mean, even in losing, he won. His student beat him. You want your kids to outlive you. You want your students to be better than you.
Absolutely. This has got to be a proud moment for Cheeseburger. It's got to be a proud moment for Eli Isom. Impressive victory here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Raddick, backstage correspondent here with my guest at this time. He has suffered a significant knockout loss. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been it. He's Anthony Bennett. Anthony, I know this has got to be a tough pill to swallow for you here tonight.
Yeah, well, for the record, I didn't get knocked out, okay? Everyone knows that martini was a little stronger than what it needed to be. We're just going to throw that out there, okay? And as far as Fight Pro, I'm still going to be on top because I'm it. I've been it. I'm Anthony Bennett.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Bennett not letting the loss affect him too much. Back to you guys. Okay.
I'm the last bastion of professional wrestling, Colby Corino. And I'm fighting to get out of someone's shadow, someone who helped build FIGHT. So I feel like FIGHT's the perfect place to do it.
I asked the promoter, alright, for promotion's sake, I'll put it on my website where the date is, what you want me named. He says, fight. Because they're reinventing this awesome sport we call pro wrestling. Wrestling may be a lot of things, but I don't care. You can call it sports entertainment, you can call it pro wrestling, you can call it anything. But I am damn proud to be a professional athlete and get the opportunity to entertain each and every one of you every time that you allow me in this ring.
I'm coming to fight to show everyone that I'm not pigeonholed into one style. I can wrestle with the best of them, and I can do it all.
I was born on the independent circuit. I stayed on the independent circuit. 2 years in ECW,
I didn't forget where I came from. They say in pro wrestling, a man can make millions of dollars or have millions of memories. Well, West Virginia, Steve Corino has 19 years worth of the greatest memories that I could have ever dreamed.
And I am ready to enter the fight.
When I first started with the Monster Factory, I said to myself, like, if I got one person to the WWE, I'll be happy.
Danny Cage, you have this school at the Monster Factory.
He teaches you everything. I was working in one of these dead-end jobs. As soon as I walked in, I was like, this is awesome.
The rush of being in a wrestling ring is like nothing else. An underdog is a hungry dog.
Part of me didn't want to call myself Twitch, but how many wrestlers do you know not only have Tourette's, but are like open about it?
Make sure they don't kill each other. Or if they do, just clean up.
Opened in September of 2016 by Chris Mazzone and Chris Burke, 8 and Sand is named for an old railway term that means to quick and safe travels. This is a 10-barrel brew house that pumps out great beer on the regular. From Pilsners to Belgians to barrel aging beers, you name it, and they brew it. A nice feature of 8 and Sand is that they also focus on being environmentally friendly, since breweries have a tendency to use a lot of resources. They send their spent grains to farmers to feed livestock, and they clean and reuse their water, among other things. So, to quick and safe travels, as they say here at 8 and Sand Brewing Company, happy drinking, my friends, and cheers.
Our tale of the tape is sponsored by Complete Management Solutions, creating a workplace environment that allows their customers to thrive. Go to cmsexperience.com for details.
I've been calling this man's matches for the entirety of my commentary career, and he is as equally a despicable human being as he is a fantastic wrestler, and he is a fantastic wrestler, so what a real POS.
Well, hey, I don't think he's a despicable person. He's just letting everybody know he's better than everybody, and everybody else just isn't as good. There's nothing wrong with that.
And his opponent, hailing from Jackson, North Carolina, standing at 5 foot 9 inches, weighing 177 pounds. He is the last bastion, Colby Corino!
So much history, so much legacy that Colby Corino has with Fight Pro Wrestling, despite never stepping in a fight ring before. We'll get into that in a moment after the face-off.
Gentlemen,
never
do we have any last words for your opponent?
I'm a big believer that you gotta believe your own hype to make everyone else. And these letters that I put on my back, the greatest second-generation wrestler of all time, it ain't just something I said, it's something I proved.
Lots of confidence from both men.
The supremely overrated Steve Corino once said on the very first Fight show, I would rather make 1,000,000 memories than $1 million. I can tell he who was a great father to you left you not $1 million. I already have $1 million, and I can remember about 1 million ways that I can beat you.
Well, Logan referenced what I was saying, although you may have more information. What I do know is that Colby Corino's father, the legendary Steve Corino, way back in the very first iteration of FIGHTT in West Virginia in 2012, Colby Corino was on the very first show, along with you, and made a very powerful speech. What can you tell me about that moment?
Well, I can tell you, yeah, Steve Corino being on that event, it's still one of the most memorable moments in fight history. I was there. I was very moved by the speech that he made that night, and moved by his passion for professional wrestling that he clearly passed on to his son here. His son, a great professional wrestler. We're happy to have him here at FIGHTT.
Yeah, this in some ways, the house that Colby Corino's father's built. Colby Corino, our second division alternate of the night. Tiny Tanali, we already saw become an official member of the roster, who was replacing the absent Gabby Ortiz, and Colby Corino having fun and games with Logan Easton Laroux. Colby Corino stepping in to replace Will Ferrara, who had to forfeit his spot. If Colby Corino can beat Logan Easton Laroux, he will become an official member of the hybrid division and take the number 5 seed. Logan Easton Laroux came in at the number 8 seed and is not happy about it.
Well, I know he's not happy about it. I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it if I was the best wrestler of all time ever and I came in and number 8 seed. Like, come on.
And flowed over into a pinning predicament by Colby Corino. We've seen some great wrestling here tonight at FIGHTT. And you want to talk about two men who are very evenly matched and both in their physical primes. It's Colby Corino and Logan Easton Laroux.
Yes, physical conditioning is a big part of both of these men's repertoire, so to speak. And peak physical condition is Logan Easton Laroux. Colby Corino just about at Logan Easton Laroux's level there.
Very, very small height advantage by Logan Easton Laroux. But what Logan does have, Colby Corino! And Logan retaining control. What Logan Easton Laroux has that Colby Corino doesn't have, I don't think anybody has, is a sadistic streak that comes from being told yes your entire life. No one has ever told Logan Easton Laroux no. This man knows entitlement with no bounds.
And this is why he's got to be, for lack of a better term, he's got to be pissed coming in at the number 8 seed, because this man,
he is.
Yeah, he's got to be, because he is privileged. He is above everyone else.
Colby Corino considers himself to be the last bastion of professional wrestling, a man who is emblematic of tradition.
Yeah, his father called himself at one point in time the king of old school, and that statement is, that statement couldn't be any more true. He has passed that down to his son. His son appreciates Fight Pro for going back to the rules of professional wrestling, and that's why he's here.
That was supposed to be a game of one-upsmanship, both men battling back and forth, checking each other with those shoulder blocks, and Logan promised to play fair and then proceeded to hip toss instead. Came out the worse for it, though.
Let me ask you, Jason, have you ever been inside a gated community?
Holy shoot, have you ever flipped yourself inside out and around like Colby Corino just did?
No.
I could barely put on my shoes, let alone lift myself like that.
I can't see my shoes anymore.
There's a reason we're at the booth, not in the ring, everybody.
This is 40, guys. This is 40.
37 for me.
37?
Yeah, I'm still technically late 30s. It's Colby Corino calling for one more chop that rings out thunderously through the Super Crazy Entertainment Center. Thank you so much for joining us here for End of the Fight Round 1. This is the final match in the hybrid division here in Round 1.
Oh, man.
The champion of the 1% is being taken to by the last bastion.
I'm going to say this. I wrestled for 7 years. You know what I don't miss about wrestling?
Chops.
Knife edge chops. You
Not
got
at
it.
all. Quite literally, Colby running Logan from pillar to post around the ring, and finally Logan Easton Laroux muscling Colby Corino, the prince of the privileged, taking advantage now.
Going into the bottom turnbuckle, you know that had to hurt.
There is an aggressive streak to Logan Easton Laroux, unlike anyone we have seen so far here at FIGHTT.
15 minutes to go.
This man, I'll tell you this now, this man does not care. He will take every advantage he can possibly get against you to beat you.
There's no wasted motion with Logan Easton Laroux.
Not at all.
Very precise, very focused on strikes, and just bringing it now. These two could not have more different attitudes about the sport of professional wrestling.
Jason, do you know what one of those knife-edge chops feels like?
Not good.
No, just imagine getting backhanded in the chest.
It's not just the pain on the chest, it knocks your wind out of you. And now float over, beautiful by Logan Easton Laroux, who's just stalking Colby Corino like a wounded animal. Did you see it? He looked at him like he was prey.
He had his crazy look in his eyes there.
There is a deep, twisted soul inside Logan Easton Laroux. He looks like a golden god. He looks like Apollo, and inside is Hades.
Oh.
Deep cover by Logan Easton Laroux, who's already throwing a bit of a tantrum, as befits the Coastal Elite.
He's just asserting that he's just asserting himself, that's all.
You sort of challenged something I said earlier. You may well know more. You have a long history with FIGHTT. We were both around for the days in 2017 in Rockville, the second iteration, but you were there from the very beginning in 2012. Has Colby Corino been in a fight ring before and I'm just not aware of it?
I could say he's been there maybe once. If you look very closely, you'll find him somewhere. There's a little Easter egg in some of those past iterations of FIGHTT.
Logan Easton Laroux now in significant danger as Colby Corino trying to choke Logan out. You know that Colby Corino wants to win this match and go all the way to the finals. There are two ways to become the very first FIGHTT champion here, and that's to run through the season, get to the playoffs, win the whole season, or basically you can score a home run every time by entering into the Premier Fighter Contendership. Those main events, you gotta win it to stay in it. And who's ever the Premier Fighter at the end will win the winner of our hybrid division season.
Yes, I mean, you follow professional sports like football or baseball, this is what they would call a wild card. You have to win or you go home. There is no second, third chances. You go straight home. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
That is our next match, Delirious versus Tony Deppen. Right now we have Colby Corino and Logan Easton Laroux battering each other. We saw Cheeseburger and Eli Isom exchanging holds. These two just striking each other into oblivion. Big Bulldog.
Modified Bulldog there.
And Logan Easton Laroux still able to kick out with authority.
No quitting Colby whatsoever here.
No, the snap to both of these competitors is what I have found most impressive. Just explosive offense, consistently going for gentrification.
Going for it.
That cutter is Logan Easton Laroux. Colby Corino has Logan wrapped up, had to work for an air raid crash.
1, 2.
Logan Easton Laroux able to kick out the venture grappleist living to fight a few more minutes. We've already seen a knockout. We've seen a time limit draw. What will we see in this final division match? And there, Logan Easton Laroux.
If Logan Easton Laroux has his way, we're going to see gentrification. Have you experienced gentrification? It's terrible.
I've been around Logan Easton Laroux long enough to know all sorts of gentrification. And Logan Easton Laroux received a warning for that eye rake and now intentionally receiving his first official violation for coming outside the ring of his own accord. And he says he's got 3 violations. He knows he's got a warning in 3.
See, he knows the deal here. He knows he's going to manipulate these rules to his advantage. He's going to use every shortcut. He is going to use every upper hand that he can possibly get.
Logan Laroux now has 2 official violations on the clock. He has the warning in 2. He knows he's got 3, but he just knocked Colby Corino into the actual hardest part of the ring, that steel post. And Colby is out.
He's just toying with him.
Well, he's unconscious. Colby may have a concussion, and now Logan.
Oh, man. I don't even like... I will say I'm a huge fan of Logan Laroux. I don't like seeing this.
Well, I told you. You were right. He took advantage, and that is a referee stoppage.
Via referee decision.
Oh, man. See, my wrestling career ended because of concussions.
Logan just intentionally gave him that.
I like Logan Laroux, and I've sang his praises this entire match. However,
wait a second, hold on, Logan!
Logan's still going at it.
Continuing, he already won. This is what I said. This is completely against the spirit of fight, and now Cheeseburger, thankfully running off Logan, who just ripped a sign out of a fan's hand. And Colby Corino will not be continuing on here as a division fighter. Wait a second, Logan! Logan now beating on Cheeseburger as well.
And he's going after Cheeseburger's head as well. Cheeseburger's already competed tonight.
This is a man who won.
Somebody ring the bell.
This is a man who won. This isn't even a sore loser. This is what happens when he gets what he wants. And finally, Eli Isom out. You know, he was doing post-match interviews because he won.
Logan Laroux, I've said it. I think he's the best in independent wrestling. That's my opinion. However, that was a little too much. That was a little too much there.
And Nana, our owner, coming out to try and restore some order. Cheeseburger and especially Corino both seem like they might need medical attention.
That's BS, man! This is not what Fight Pro is about, okay? Fight Pro is about respect! It's about wrestling with respect, okay?
Oh, it's about winning, huh?
How about next time you try that crap with me, huh? How about that, Logan? Try that with Eli Isom. How about that, Fight Pro?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You wait right there, Logan, all right? Wait right there. Eli, you have a point, okay? Here at Fight Pro, when you snooze, you lose, and in Prince Nana's eyes, you snooze tonight. So therefore, it's Logan versus Eli Isom. Now, how about that?
I choose to control my own narrative. To stick to the fundamentals that have made me successful. And those fundamentals that I speak of were created by the true craftsmen of this sport. And they've built a different kind of foundation. And it's because of that, and in spite of you, that I will be successful. So I want them all. I want everybody and anybody that you got. Because it's time, and it's Mecca versus everybody.
Come here. No, I want you to come here. Get in real close. Logan, are you serious, man? It's not bad enough that you beat up Colby. But my trainer, he put CB out. Okay, he's not even gonna be able to make the next show. I'm not gonna let this slide. Nah, man, I ain't letting this slide, huh? Nobody attacks my trainer and gets away with it. But if you think I'm coming alone, you're mistaken. I ain't coming alone. Ryan Moody's gonna be with me. 3S! We stick together.
How you doing? It's George from GWB Designs. We're starting a new project, hey? Come on in. any of your construction needs, give us a call, 631-953-5054. Thank you and have a good day.
GWB Designs, here for all your home improvement needs from start to finish. Our tale of the tape is sponsored by GWB Designs. Call 631-953-5054 for all your home improvement needs from start to finish.
All right, this guy's already got heat with me. Who comes out till we built this city?
Tony Deppen does. Our very first premier contender from the sweetest place on earth, Hershey, Pennsylvania. Tony Deppen has been a standout on the independent scene, and he is looking to establish himself as the very first premier fighter in Season 1 of Fight Pro. The way this works, both Tony Deppen and Delirious are premier contenders. One of them will win this match and become the honorific of premier fighter at every event in Season 1. That premier fighter title will be on the line. If you win, you stay in. If you lose, you are out of the running. It's like a gauntlet match that goes event after event. And whoever is the premier fighter, who's ever left standing, when we get to the finale, will face off against the division winner in the hybrid division to determine the first fight champion.
I know that music. And I don't think the man from Hershey, Pennsylvania is going to be leaving Hershey Park happy after this one.
An absolute legend. Fighting out from the edge of sanity. A man who makes incoherence into a positive. This is Delirious.
The man's so incoherent, it's quite elegant, as one would say.
This man has established himself in so many promotions, notably Ring of Honor. He has cast a wide and large shadow on the legacy of independent wrestling over the last 10 to 15 years, but he has something to prove, making his way, competing across the independents now again for the first time in a long time. Delirious wants to prove he still has what it takes to be at the top of the food chain.
Dude, when you're this insane, you never lose it. You never lose it. The intensity's still got to be there. Like, I don't want to be in Tony Deppen's position this evening.
Let's take it to our ring announcer, Danny Silver.
Is our premier contenders bout, and it's brought to you by GWB Designs. Here for all your home improvement needs. I don't need their home improvement needs. In this corner, we have Tony Deppen, weighing 180 pounds from the sweetest place on earth, Hershey, Pennsylvania. And in this corner, hailing from the edge of insanity, it's Delirious.
That wasn't nice.
There are no face-offs for our main events for our Premier Fighter matches. And now we will see who is going to become the first Premier Fighter. The bell rings and Delirious, like a rabid dog.
Oh man, we have not seen Delirious in quite some time, and it's quite refreshing to know that things haven't changed there. As intense as ever, as crazy as ever, we are in for a treat this evening.
Tony Deppen has been a major player on the indies for quite a while, always seemingly on the cusp of greatness, of breaking through to the next level. Is FIGHT Deppen's opportunity to be the top dog in a promotion? Can he defeat a legend like Delirious, run the gauntlet, and become the first FIGHT champion? You mentioned that this is sort of a wild card slot, the whole Premier Fighter concept, and boy, there are not two wrestlers that exemplify the idea of a wild card more than Delirious, and maybe even more so Tony Deppen. He's a madman.
Yeah, Tony Deppen already, you can see he's trying to make friends, so to speak.
Tony Deppen
very sarcastic when I say that.
Tony Deppen snapped a long time ago and really never came back.
Well, have you ever had to live outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania? You'd snap too.
These two know each other very well. I don't think there's any love lost between Delirious and Tony Deppen. We've seen a lot of different styles on display, from technical masterpieces to vicious strikes.
I gotta be honest, between these two psychopaths, that's not how I expected that match to start off.
No, I think this is going to be a very reckless match that really tests the boundaries of FIGHT's code of conduct as much as any match we could possibly see.
Just makes things interesting, that's all.
It certainly does. This is a 30-minute time limit. And again, the winner of this match will move on to October to face a new Premier Challenger.
You know who's got the most difficult job in this whole thing? Referee Mitch Franklin. He's got to control these two human beings.
That's a losing proposition. I think at best he can kind of notate what's happened more than he can actually control. That's not a knock on referee Mitch Franklin, our senior official, who's fantastic. It's just that, what are you going to do against two forces of nature like Delirious and Tony Deppen?
Nice side headlock by Delirious.
Yeah, let's not ignore Delirious wrestles barefoot. And that has always both shocked and impressed me when I see a wrestler who is able to enter the squared circle without that protection of those joints, of those feet. You can break a bone with one of these kicks pretty easily.
You can easily dislocate or break an ankle. It's very, even with boots on, it's easy to do this.
Everything in pro wrestling is a danger.
Yeah, without that support, it's got to be even worse. Oh.
Deppen jaw-jacking with a purpose, kind of luring Delirious in with his antics, but Deppen's dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous is an understatement. Deppen, as technically sound as any wrestler on this roster. We've seen a bunch of great ones here tonight. Deppen is at the very top of that list.
Deppen has all the fundamentals, but also a disregard for his own safety and certainly for the safety of his opponents in a very different way than someone like Logan Easton Laroux, who's going to be very precise at taking advantage of the rules. Deppen just goes for it. All in, all the time, as we see right there.
They should call Deppen the Honey Badger. He don't care.
Deppen does not care. You know. And there has never been a bigger wild man, a bigger wild card in professional wrestling than Delirious.
Beautiful arm drag.
Delirious wants to prove that he is timeless here in professional wrestling, and Tony Deppen just chose to leave the ring, and I believe
that's got to be an infraction.
And Tony caught off guard, as we said. He's just, Deppen's just going for it.
rules about punching, nada. No, there is rules.
Oh, no.
Tony Deppen asserting that while he did receive a warning for leaving the ring of his own volition, which is true, there are no rules for punching Nana, to which Nana very quickly made a rule.
I would just assume there's probably are rules.
I think that it's being added to the rule book as we speak. You do not get to punch Prince Nana, so...
Yeah. I'm sure Westville's finest would want to have a word with him.
Every rule you've ever seen made is largely because somebody broke it before it was made. In my high school, it was that we were no longer allowed to ride computer carts down the hill because technically when we did it the first time, it wasn't illegal.
In mine, we just couldn't throw drill bits at each other. That happened.
Tony Deppen drilling in on Delirious, trying to force a submission while I processed that you threw drill bits at each other. That's terrifying. And Delirious trying to force Deppen to tap himself. I mean, Deppen trying to force Delirious to tap.
What can I say? I grew up in a rough neighborhood.
How does it compare to Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Not that rough. Not that rough. Have you seen the Reese's Pieces guy there?
No. But I see Deppen. That speaks volumes about what happens when you've grown up with a professional sugar rush. This man does not come down. Doing a great job working down Delirious, though. And there's no rush for either of these two in terms of inflicting damage. 30-minute time limit. We have already seen a 20-minute draw decided by violation. Anything is possible here at FIGHT.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible at FIGHT. However, you know what's not possible? These guys are going to break the rules. There's no way these guys are going to follow the rules to the T.
They will, as we've seen, receive consequences. It's not that people aren't going to establish violations. It's that there's accountability and consequences here at FIGHT Pro Wrestling. As you look from afar, I'm actually watching LSG, who won our very first scouting match, watching this match. And LSG trying to make a point here, and
I was just going to say, this is how high the level of competition is here. These guys are out in the audience watching these matches, trying to scout future opponents because they know at some point in time they're going to come across these guys during the season.
The premier fighters are the best of the best. You got to have so much confidence. Because here's the thing, if you're in the division, you can take a loss. Nobody wants to, but it's who's the best at the end. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, like in a sports league. Exactly. You can lose a game and still win the season. Not as the premier fighter. You have to hit a home run every single time, as Deppen tried to do and instead hit the knees of Delirious.
Yeah, it's basically win or go home every time. You are in the playoffs all season long. There is no break. There is no, oh, hey, I might lose this one, but I'll come back next week. No, you don't come back next week. You go home. You don't get paid anymore.
Sudden death all the time right now, and that's what we're seeing. Just a different level of violence. It's a different mindset when you could go home for a loss.
Now, did you see that there? Tony Deppen looked dead to the world there for a moment.
And now swinging for the fences as Delirious practicing that art of incoherence.
Delirious all over the place there.
We talked about Cheeseburger being a master of misdirection, but boy, who did he learn that from?
Learned it from Delirious.
A lot of legacies here in FIGHT, a lot of legacies, fathers and sons, trainers and trainees, generations of training represented on this very card as we are paying homage to the legacy of professional wrestling. Delirious, how many leg drops has he hit?
It's a never-ending story of leg drops here.
And here, I thought we were getting to the punctuation, but no, it's just chapter 2. Looks like,
no.
I think the crowd just said 9, and here we go.
10 leg drops.
And as much damage as that does to Tony Deppen, and it's a significant amount, Delirious, cardio, leg, suffering a lot. You see Deppen considering rolling outside and decides not to because he already got called on that earlier.
Yeah, was it worth it for Delirious to do that to his body, to injure himself even further, to wear himself down as Deppen rolls out of the ring?
Deppen's feet have not touched the floor. He's still on the apron, so that is not a violation. It's not a violation if you are forced out of the ring. It is a violation if you personally choose to leave the ring and have your feet touch the floor. It's basically being penalized for taking a timeout. We want to keep the action flowing here at Fight Pro Wrestling, and technically, Delirious was headbutting to the lower abdomen, but it was pretty close.
And Tony Deppen's neck has got to be feeling it there. Picture-perfect DDT by Delirious.
I believe that Delirious, by forcing Deppen down onto his neck, just suffered a violation. These two are tied now. Each have a warning.
And a modified Cobra Clutch there, hooked on by Delirious. Oh no!
Tony Deppen, incredibly educated feet, doing a great job maintaining his balance, staying on the apron. All of this completely legal. Code breaker to Delirious.
1, 2.
Truly deep stack as Deppen is hitting a second gear. We are over 10 minutes into this match, 1/3 of the way through the allotted time, and we must have a winner moving forward. One of these two will become the premier fighter of Fight Season 1.
Who will win and who will go home? We're going to find out here shortly.
You have experience in the ring, a former professional wrestler yourself, watching the first 10 minutes of this match. Who do you give the advantage to? Who do you see walking away as the premier fighter, Mike Raddick?
I'm going to be honest with you. Before the match, I thought it was going to be Delirious. Delirious is just crazy insane. You don't know what he's going to do at any given time. After seeing a few minutes of this contest, I've got to give it to Tony Deppen.
Deppen also kind of insane, just in a very different way. It's Discus Lariat, and Delirious almost took it home.
Yeah, Deppen's crazy. Don't get me wrong. Deppen is super crazy.
Nut job.
However, there is a method to his madness from what I am seeing so far. He is technically sound. He has a purpose in the ring. He knows what he wants to do.
You know, you're talking how important this match is, that all these people are scouting. I just saw Matt Quay in the crowd as well. You've been a wrestler a long time. Most of the time, you finish your match, you get changed, you want to leave the building, you want to get home, you want to maybe do some media. The fact that we're seeing so many of our wrestlers around watching this match shows they want to know who they could potentially be facing at the end of this rainbow.
I'm going to tell you what I credit this to. This is good training, and this is good training backgrounds from these wrestlers. These wrestlers, you're told from the time that you get in the wrestling school to the time that you leave it, always stay around, watch the matches later on in the night so you can learn something, so you can pick up something extra. This is something that is explained to you time and time again in wrestling schools. Not a lot of people do it, but the ones who do are successful.
Tremendous violence on display by both Delirious and Deppen, but the hallmark of the whole event has been respect. I would say all of these fighters are fighting to win as hard as they can, and Deppen may have just done it. But the only one who's been fighting to injure has been Logan Easton Laroux.
Yeah, Logan Easton Laroux was definitely out there trying to injure his opponent, trying to knock out of his opponent. He wants to get the most amount of points possible with the least amount of work, with the easiest work. I gotta tell you, I understand it.
Deppen picking and dropping Delirious up, calling for something big. At this point in the match, we're going to see these men maybe go to some of their more high-risk arsenals. You soften your opponent up in the hopes that when you go up to the top rope, they don't have the energy to get out of the way. Unfortunately, Delirious able to do so, and that double stop missed.
Violation to Tony Deppen for an eye poke.
Tony Deppen had the eye poke, and while the referee was distracted, it almost looked like he got away with grabbing the tights. But Tony Deppen now has...
That should be 2 infractions for him.
Well, yeah, it's a warning and a violation, and Deppen almost picks it up.
15 minutes remain.
We're halfway through the time of this contest. 15 minutes remain.
Deppen took the shortcut there, and he just got dangerously close to picking up that victory.
If my math is correct, Deppen only has 2 infractions left. In reality, he only has 1 more violation left because a second, and he's done for. He forfeits this match.
You do not want to forfeit a match, especially when everything is on the line in this Premier Fighter division.
Yeah, there's no points at stake. This is just win or go home. Sudden death. However you win, you stick around. And the competition's only going to keep getting harder.
I was just saying how I was in Deppen's corner a few moments ago here. I think Deppen had the advantage until that last violation. Now he's basically in a sudden death situation. If he breaks the rules again, which you know he's probably going to.
You just can't make mistakes is the problem. And now we see, you were talking about the dangers of being barefoot and what that could do for your support. It looks like Delirious just landed hard on that ankle.
Yeah, Delirious, definitely he's favoring that ankle, but still has enough wherewithal to get that knee in.
That panic attack knee.
Oh, this... Oh!
Shadows over hell!
Your winner, and moving on, Delirious!
And despite an incredible challenge by Tony Deppen, Delirious, the man fighting from the edge of sanity with the Shadows over hell splash. Despite injury, Delirious is your premier fighter.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause to the the first inaugural premier fighter of Fight Pro, Delirious, ladies and gentlemen.
Well deserved.
Impressive victory.
Unbelievable things. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an unbelievable thing that we have our first ever premier fighter here at Fight Pro, and you know what we say. If you win, you're in. If you lose, you're out. And this is the man that the premier athletes have to beat in order to become the premier fighter here at Fight Pro. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our first ever premier fighter, Delirious.
Delirious is now the premier fighter after an incredible night of action here at Enter the Fight Round 1. I'm Jason Heat alongside Mike Raddick. We hope you'll join us again next week because I'm actually getting word we are going to go right now and discover who Delirious is going to defend against next week. Who will be the premier contender for Enter the Fight Round 2? Let's find out right heckin' now.
I just wanna feel free, and I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. I just wanna be a freak. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success.
I am no stranger to fighting. I spent 10 years locked inside a cage. I'm an undefeated professional mixed martial arts fighter, a professional boxer, a Muay Thai fighter, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, and I gave all of it up to become a professional wrestler, to chase my dreams, to fight for my dreams. Just 1 month after having neck surgery, I sold my house, moved to a different state, all for a chance to fight for an opportunity. I found myself standing on the doorstep of the Ring of Honor dojo to be trained by some of the best professional wrestlers in the world. In Delirious, you're one of them. You still are. Every single day, I fought for a contract. But here we are, and now I fight to earn your respect. But most importantly, I fight to win. At Fight Pro, you're not stepping into the ring with a wrestler. You're stepping into the ring with an elite combat athlete, a premier fighter.